everybody. How are you today? Kelly and Kelly's Kitchen. I'm glad you dropped in today to see what we are cooking. You're in for a great treat. This is ground beef, a pound of ground beef. I'm just frying it up in my frying pan with a little bit of oil using my meat separator to get it nice and into little tiny peas size shaped. The chunks don't taste great. So we're going to make a spaghetti sauce with this. And I am going to add, I don't know what it's going to say. I'm going to add some sauce to it. Yeah, we're going to add meat to my spaghetti sauce. I generally make spaghetti sauce for my kids without any meat. I like a meat sauce. Well, I'll tell you what they do love in it. And we can add that too. Celery and peppers and onions and all that stuff in there. So more the merrier. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So what I want to do today is I don't want to have spaghetti. I want to have some spaghetti squash. Spaghetti squash is one of my favorite things in the fall to have. So I have one and I popped it in the microwave to soften it so I could cut it. It was quite, I found it really, really hard when I was trying to cut it. So I stuck it in my steamer for 3 minutes. And we are going to cut that beauty up. So this is not a very big squash. I think I got it for less than $2. Did anybody grow some in your garden? I did. I have a terrible time right now with with squash bugs. They get my squash and my zucchini and my cantaloupe didn't come. So next year I'm going to have to put a little effort into getting rid of those bugs. Okay, that cut really easy, thanks to being in the microwave for 3 minutes in my steamer, no lid, no water. So now we're going to scoop out the contents in the middle, which is the seeds, because we won't use those. I'll just put them in a bowl. I wonder if it'd be just as good to scoop with the ice cream scoop. I wonder. Of course, when I need the ice cream scoop, it's not available. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so we're going to scoop out the stringy stuff in the middle and all the seeds. Kind of hot, but anyway. So the idea behind using spaghetti squash is that it makes for a full gluten-free meal. It also gets a vegetable into you, and this, it tastes amazing. So I just really want to get the seeds out of there because we don't want to be eating those right now. Go. And then we're going to pop this back in the microwave. Now, there's many ways to cook your spaghetti squash. You can cook it in the oven. You can put it in a pan face down with some water. You can put some olive oil on it first and cook it that way. You can, what else did I see? I saw the oven in, I thought I saw you could do it in water, but I'm not sure about that one. But anyway, okay, so we're going to scoop out all the contents. I'm going to stick it back in the microwave for about 5 minutes. Not sure if that'll be enough, but we're going to find out. I love the size of this squash. And when you're buying squash, I was reading how do you know which one to buy. You want to stick with a smaller size, but you want it to be heavy. So when you pick it up, it feels good and heavy. And this one certainly did. It was heavy because it's full of moisture, and that's what you want. Your squash, when you're growing them, needs lots of water. So there's my squash, kind of cleaned out. I'm going to stick it in my steamer. And so we're going to stick that back in the microwave for 5 minutes and hoping that will cook the inside. And if it won't, we'll put it in a little longer. All right, so put that in. And I have a high wattage microwave, so it won't take as long as if you had a 750 wattage, or I think 750 is this other size. Mine is 1 point something. Okay, so there we go. Cleaned out the squash. All right, so my meat is cooking. We want to add some stuff to that meat. So this is where my bags of frozen peppers come in great. A bag of celery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bag of peppers, take it out, put it on my cutting board, and then cut those up into little pieces. And I want to add a little bit of celery to it. Actually, I have mushrooms too, but they're not cooked. That would be good in the sauce. So anyway, a little bit of that. We can add that to our Yeah, so I just take my frozen strips, because I always cut it in strips. And that way, if I want it for fajitas, it's already the size I want. If I want it for chili or something like this, you can cut it up into little pieces and just throw it right into your hamburger that's cooking. Celery's already cut. It's a great way. I like to take all my veggies. When I'm cleaning up my fridge before grocery shopping, I will clean up my fridge, and if my celery is getting close but not quite to being done, I will cut it up and freeze it. It's great to throw in soups, and it helps save you money on groceries because you're not wasting anything. And onions. I don't think I have any onions in there, but what I do have is our Epicure toasted onion. I'll throw that in, and I will throw some garlic in from Epicure, and that will get that in there. Okay. If you put anything in your spaghetti squash, spaghetti sauce, I should say, for vegetables. And when they're frozen, they're super simple, as you can see, to cut, to throw in your sauce. This is a great way to make sauce, even if you're going to use spaghetti and not spaghetti sauce. Okay, so we are going to add some onions and some garlic to that. So let's get out our toasted onion and our minced garlic. We've got garlic in the house. Pop that in. I actually do. I just want to use this garlic because it's that much simpler and I won't smell like garlic. And some toasted onions. Saves me cutting up the onions. Put in as much as you think is necessary. Now, the other thing I'm going to add, where did I put it? Okay, I didn't take it out yet. All right. I had used a can of tomatoes the other day, diced tomatoes, and a can of the diced tomatoes, a can of mashed tomatoes. It's always called crushed. And I still have it left over. So I'm going to throw that in. Get that used up. And I might throw another can in because this can make a lot of sauce. And what I don't use on the spaghetti squash, I can always put on just spaghetti. So let's get a can of crushed tomatoes. You can use diced. My little kids certainly prefer the crushed. They don't like the chunks. I don't want chunks. They don't. Anyway, so 2 cans of this tomatoes. That can was a mixed can because I used half for one recipe and half of the diced tomatoes and the crushed tomatoes. I had half of it left and I wanted to get it used up. So that's why I thought I would make the sauce. All right. Have you had spaghetti squash before? I love spaghetti squash. It's so good. So good. I make it, pour this sauce on top of it, a little bit of Parmesan cheese. I mean, if you wanted, you could have a really nice garlic bread with it. It would taste really good. Okay, so with that, we're going to add some of our marinara sauce. It'll take 2 tablespoons. Makes a good tablespoon for each can you use. So 2 tablespoons. I'll give it lots of flavor. Take that. We're going to mix it up. Okay, with my ground beef. And I'll turn that back up. All right. And that sauce, I'll just let it simmer till all those flavors go in there. I would taste test it. You might want to add a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt. And there's your sauce. Yum. And I did have mushrooms. I was saying I might add the mushrooms. If I'm going to add the mushrooms, I'm going to pre-cook them and then add them. Make sure they are cooked. But there is a beautiful, beautiful sauce. And I hear my squash is ready. So we want to take a peek at that and see if it's ready. And if it is, perfect. All right, let's take a peek at my squash. See if that's ready. I love doing the microwave because it's so quick. If you do it in the oven, it takes 30 to 40 minutes. So it just depends what you're doing, I find. I just don't have the time. Or I don't want to wait, I suppose is what I should say. I don't want to wait. Okay, she's hot. All right. I think she's started cooking, but she's not fully cooked. Okay, I want to show you how this is going to work. All right, so super, super hot. Let's get that out. All right. Okay. So you know your squash is ready, okay, when all these come out like spaghetti. Now see, it's coming away from the side there perfectly, but this side, I don't think it's, oh no, maybe it is. All right, but I'm going to put it back in the microwave probably for 3 more minutes to try and get it more spaghetti-like, but there's your spaghetti squash, something very simple to make. And actually, it's not expensive at all. I was like $2 for my squash. And then you're going to be like $1.50 for your cans. And your ground beef is going to be the most, and everything else was in the freezer. So for under $10, you're going to be able to make this lovely meal that will feed all of you. Or you could jar up this sauce in mason jars, and you could freeze it for future suppers, such as pasta one night, spaghetti one night, or to have the spaghetti squash. Anyway, this is our class. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you are interested, would you please let me know your interest in an upcoming freezer workshop? I have been working on a freezer workshop with some great items. I made a couple the other day, and they are so simple. I made a sweet and sour chicken and broccoli and a peach glazed pork that I pulled out for this week. And I'll make those up. There's crock pot, sheet pans. There's some that go in the oven. It took me an hour to prep everything in the bags for 6 meals, or 12 if there's only 2 of you in your home, 1 or 2. And it took me half an hour to 45 minutes to put all the ingredients out that I was going to need, which I thought was fantastic. And I enjoyed doing it because I didn't have to do any cooking that day. So it was a perfect thing to make. Anyway, everybody, I hope you loved this cooking class. Comment below if you're interested in a freezer workshop, would like to hear more. I am going to be offering that, and interested in what you'd be looking at learning. Okay, have a great day, and thank you for watching.